welcome to today's video. I'm back behind the camera today, mostly because I've had such a long day and I could not be bothered making myself presentable enough to be on the internet. So I'm just gonna chill back here, you guys. I'll take one for the team and save us from that site, trust me. Plus I just look so tired and I honestly cringe when I look back at these videos and realize like how tired I look, so I'm not going to do that to myself, to my future self. Which brings me to the topic of today's reading. We're going to be asking Spirit for messages from our future selves. How exciting. I actually put a poll up on my Instagram a little while ago now. Gosh, how long ago do you reckon that was if you saw that post? It must have only been a week ago. But so much has happened in 7 days. So thank you so much to the nearly 1,000 people who voted for this topic. I think there were over 4,000 votes. No, that's can't be right. There must have been around 3,000 votes in total, which is insane on Instagram. So thank you so much to everybody who voted. And yeah, 1,000 of you chose this topic. So thank you, thank you, thank you. We're asking Spirit for messages from your future self. Before I get into showing you the groups closer, although you can get a fairly good look from here, I just want to say that my new merch is officially live on my store. I renamed the collection as well. I'm calling it the hashtag Protected by My Angels collection. It's a fairly small collection, if I'm honest, and mostly, well, there's a few things around that, but I don't think I want to talk about that here. I'll talk about that in a live stream soon. But even though it's a small collection, it's a collection that I'm very happy and proud of. Most of the Most of the materials used in this collection are either reusable, recycled, or repurposed. And I want to show you guys some of these products up close. I'm just going to take a quick 2 minutes to do this because I realized that I didn't show you. Like, I've done the giveaway and I showed you pictures, but I didn't actually get to show you video footage of this stuff. So I want to show you what it looks like up close so that you're not just looking at pictures. First of all, we have the Take What Resonates and Don't Let the Rest Take From You pin/badge. I actually love badges. I have 2 on my overalls, and to be honest, it's just like, to me, a little talisman. Now, you've heard me say this saying so many times. You've probably heard other people say this saying so many times as well. Take what resonates and don't let the rest take from you is just a powerful way of, a simple way, should I say, of protecting your energy from harmful energies while also allowing the right stuff to come in. So simple phrase, but it's something that I personally live by. And also this design, we have the evil eye over here and we have all these little Saturns because obviously I'm a Capricorn. So each of these designs are entirely based off me and how this version of me has grown in front of such a public audience. We also have the protected pin, which I wanted to show you. And this is very simple, just a little talisman of protection to wear or to put in your home. These little badges are $8.95 in Australian dollars. And shipping is fairly cheap. I'll be shipping it myself from Australia, so I did have to consider those international shipping fees, but it's just a little badge. So even if you only buy one of these, it's fairly quick to get to you. But I just wanted to show you this design because I love this color. And obviously it has the evil eye on it for protection. There's a lot of debate around the evil eye, but I personally still see it as protection. We also have the Not Gonna Lie badges over here. And you probably heard me say this way too many times. It's a very common phrase in Australia. It's a big part of our culture, our very neo-culture. But it's also a big part of my values, just being honest and telling you the truth, however difficult those messages are. So it's a big part of the Hermit Tarot brand as well, not gonna lie. Only honesty. And lastly, or not lastly, but we also have these beautiful stickers, and the story behind these stickers is that they were originally intended for a different merch drop. It's a big story, so it's going to be a part of the live stream, not today. But instead of doing that huge merch drop, I chose to simply keep the stickers. So this is like, they're non-gloss stickers, and the paper that is used to make them is also recycled. So it's a very environmentally friendly production process, and I was just in love with the designs, so I chose to keep them. We have My Angels Made Me Do It, #protected, and we also have the protected badge with a white background here on this sticker, and they're pretty big. Like, look at it in my hand. It's recycled material, which is why they're a bit more expensive than what stickers on my shop would usually be. They cost a bit more to make. And lastly, I showed you the water bottle last time, but I want to show you the tote bags this time. So this is the white tote bag. Let me just zoom out a little bit. The white tote bag over here with the My Angels Made Me Do It design. This is 100% organic cotton made out of repurposed cotton as well. Actually, it's not repurposed, excuse me, but the idea behind a tote bag is that it is reusable. So it does follow the trend, and I wanted to get a fabric that was durable, right? Like it's about I think it's about 8 centimeters deep, so it's strong. It's gonna hold those heavy stainless steel water bottles, you know what I mean? It's gonna be able to hold that bag of mandarins to the car. It's gonna be able to hold that pumpkin and that squash. And it also comes in black as well. I realized I didn't show you any of this. So these are the designs. They're very bright, as you can see. This is a close-up of what we can, if you want to look at it. I clean all of these bags before I send them to. Kirk's hair is everywhere. So if you see a hair, trust, if you order one of these, I will clean it before I send it to you. So those are the merch items. I just wanted to show you them on camera because I showed you the water bottle. And then I was like, wait a minute, Lorraine, you didn't show them anything else. They have to see. Anyway, if you saw something that you liked, the link to my website is in the description box. I would be more than happy to be able to send this to your home from mine. I have been writing like little messages on each of the orders as well, which has been my funnest part, my most favorite part about this process. I thought it would be overwhelming, but I'm loving it so far. So if you would like to support the Hermit Tarot and cop something that you really like, do click on the website in the description box and I'll make sure I get that out to you ASAP. Coming back to your reading, I want to show you the 3 groups now. I apologize for this super long intro, y'all. I promise I'll do a live stream soon to update you properly so that there's a time and a place for those long yarns. Let's introduce you to the groups. Starting with group 1 over here, we have this gorgeous shell as well to help you choose your group. You can just see all of the beautiful colors and textures on this shell today. Very gorgeous. I'm actually in love with the sea at the moment. I need to spend more time out there. We also have the Destiny card, Integrity, for group 1. So either maybe you're joined to the word, or maybe you're feeling drawn towards the shell instead. That's group 1. Group 2, listen, if you have trypophobia like I do, this is going to be a little bit difficult. I've personally been okay lately. This is a piece of coral with many little holes. If you don't need to know any more, maybe skip ahead like 30 seconds. But if you aren't trypophobic, I need to show you this for group 2. We have a piece of coral over here that was once thriving in a very aquatic ecosystem. There's all these little textures on the coral. And I don't know what else I could tell you, so I'm going to put it back. We also have the Destiny card, Fun, associated with this group as well. And lastly, but certainly not in the least, we have group number 3 with another shell. And this shell is mostly brown. It's got like a coned design, a spiral design at the top. Again, so many interesting textures. Love it. And I think it was home to a hermit crab before we found it abandoned on the beach. So that's group 3. And group 3, you have the Destiny card, Pleasure, as well. So I'm going to put that back. If you think you need more time and you don't feel quite drawn to a group yet, you may choose to pause the video now, or you could join me in the meditation and see if that helps stimulate an intuitive message as to which of these three groups has the most honest messages for you. Once you know which group you're feeling most drawn to, you simply scroll down to the description box, click on your group, and join me in your reading. So the first thing I want you to do with me is to take in 2 deep, mindful breaths. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4, and out, 2, 3, 4, and in, 2, 3, 4, and out, 2, 3, 4. Now I want you to focus on clearing your mind. It's natural to have thoughts racing at this point. I want you to embrace each thought as it comes and let it slip as quickly as it came in. Focus on clearing and balancing out these thoughts so that they come and go without a desire to be attached to them. And now, with a rested mind, I want you to think of the first group that comes to your mind. It may be a number. It may be an object that I showed you. It could be a specific color. It could be a feeling that you felt when I showed you each of the groups today. When you are ready and when you feel confident, select your group and join me in your reading. Hello and welcome, group number 1. If you chose this gorgeous seashell over here, then this is going to be your reading. You may have chosen the shell, or you may have chosen the word integrity. Welcome if this is your card. We're going to be asking Spirit today for messages from your future self. I low-key just forgot the topic of today's reading. I'm not even going to lie to you. Let's get into it, shall we? I was supposed to pre-shuffle cards for you, but to be honest with you, this reading for me is just about channeling. I didn't put too much planning into it. This is a topic I've been wanting to do for a while, so as you can tell, it's a very laid-back, casual affair. Let's aim to get clear, honest messages, please, Spirit, for group 1 from their future self. What does group 1's future self want them to know? What does group 1's future self want them to know, Spirit? What does group 1's future self want them to know? This is interesting already. There's something developing in your life, I feel. A situation that hasn't been fair, to say the least. I'm curious to see what cards we're getting, Spirit. Which ones do I take? Thank you. Yeah, there's something that has been developing behind the scenes. Let's lay these out, and if I need to clarify, I will. But I'm starting to just get too many messages. We'll start with this one. We have the Siren coming out for you. We also had Gnosis. Wow. Yeah, something's going to be made very clear to you soon. I'm hearing it'll all make sense. So something's been withheld from you, group 1, and you've been searching for answers about this for some time. You've been trying to piece this together for some time, and it felt like it was just getting further away from you, almost like it was being repelled by you. But I feel this coming closer towards you now, or at least the truth finally revealing itself to you. We have the Sustainer coming out as well. The Judge is what triggered it all, to be honest with you. I was getting a message, but I couldn't feel it until this card came out. The Judge reversed. Unfair situation that you don't see but will see. It had to happen this way. It's actually a blessing in disguise. Your future self wants you to know that obviously this difficult situation that you may be in is going to pass. There's one very specific message coming in for you first, and I do need to talk about that. I'm kind of piecing it together as we talk. So I feel as though you've been in an unfair situation where it could have to do with a relationship, it could have to do with work even. It just felt like there was an uneven dynamic between you and another person. The situation wasn't balanced. Someone was either giving too much, or one person felt like they had the other person over them, and it just wasn't a balanced situation. It feels like you may have been seeking answers about this for a long time, and the process of seeking answers has also, for many of you, distracted you from focusing on the truth of what the situation is, because I do feel that the truth is going to eventually come out with Gnosis. You're being called to really trust what you already know. Your future self wants you to know that some of you already have the answers here, and that's about as much as you can get. Now, for all of you, even if you feel like you're completely in the dark, nothing makes sense when it comes to this unfair relationship situation or contract partnership situation, you need to know that you are going to start to see things, and they will start to make a lot more sense, because for many of you, you're going to realize that this unfair situation had to happen so that you could be free enough for something better. You're almost being pushed between a rock and a hard place here for many of you, I feel, where it's time to give. It's time to act in the sense of, like, if this is a tug of war, let go of the rope, give it to them, and let their own energy sort it out. It kind of feels like your prayers are going to be answered anyway, group one, and I feel that something more sustainable is coming. If anything, this situation has proven to you how durable you are, how dedicated you are, and how persevering you are when faced with adversity. It feels like this unfair situation is going to resolve itself in your favor, and I don't see like a complete reconciliation with an external body. I almost see a divorce here with the Judge reversed. I see a separation, an agree to disagree situation of being objective, and for the highest good of all, this is what is necessary. I feel that this situation may have involved a lot of hearsay or gossip, or just having to get like secondary information. You weren't able to just sit down in the same room as this person and have a straightforward conversation. It's like you had to always get secondhand information. You always left questioning how secure you were in this partnership, whether it's a romantic or a business partnership. It just feels like you're constantly walking on almost eggshells. Maybe not that bad for a lot of you, but you just didn't know. And I want to say that something that you have been waiting for a while is going to happen in your favor. It feels like you're going to get your answer, but not as you expected it. With the Siren reversed, it's like you're being protected on purpose from something that you are desperately seeking because it does not match your vibration. It's like you're singing in Norwegian, and what you're attracting only knows English, and they can't understand it all. Like, you just sound like you're yelling a bunch of noises, and Spirit's like, you need to actually direct your Norwegian tones to people who can hear, or situations that can hear and understand the Norse language. So let us get some tarot out here now, because I want to see what else your future self wants you to know. What's going on here with group one, please, Spirit? What does group one's future self want them to know? Can we get any other messages for group one? What does their future self want them to know, Spirit? Hello. We have the Ten of Pentacles. It will work in your favor. That's a beautiful outcome, especially if you are worried about finances or your career. I do see security here. I see wealth. Spirit saying not security, sweets, wealth. If this was the Nine of Pentacles, we could go for security, but this is the Ten of Pentacles. We're talking money for days, like intergenerational wealth. Okay. We also have the Ten of Swords. So you are closing two cycles right now. One could be in your career. The other one could be something to do with a thought or a recurring it feels like a thought that's been weighing heavy on you. This is the end of a difficult cycle, though. It's like this knowledge, this awareness is helping free you from something that has been almost betraying you and your cause. You're manifesting this when actually it's been betraying you, because it's not a part of the overall goal, if that makes sense. It's kind of like This is crazy. This is the analogy Spirit's giving me. It's kind of like when you're a child and you taste bubblegum for the first time and you tell your parents, oh, I just want bubblegum. I just want bubblegum. Okay, let's go to the shops and just get bubblegum. And that's your point of reference because you've tried it, you know it, it tastes delicious, you want more of it. But your parents, much like Spirit, are out here like trying to introduce you to ice cream and donuts and vegetables that will nourish your body. They may not be as tasty as that, but you haven't also tasted grapes before. Maybe you like chicken as well. Maybe you can't live off bubblegum for the rest of your life. That's what's going on in this situation. You're closing out some cycles and you're also culminating into something in terms of success. I also feel that your family situation, if you've been concerned about family, group one, is going to balance out. There's going to be a helpful healing moment here with family. It could be linked to the holidays, okay, depending on what culture, society you're a part of. That we've got a few holidays coming up at the end of the year in many different cultures and societies. So it just feels like you're going to feel a lot more harmony because there's this culminating feeling in your life. You're getting ready to let go of some thoughts that have been betraying your happiness. You're getting ready to start taking new actions towards things that have been weighing heavy on your mind. And you're getting ready to let go of people and I want to say even places that have felt oppressive or limiting towards your happiness. And you're also just have this beautiful feeling of like intergenerational abundance here with the Ten of Pentacles. What else does group one's future self want to say to them, Spirit? What does their future self want them to know? Group one. Oh, the Five of Cups reverse. It'll all get better in time. Leona Lewis, even though I really love you, I'm going to smile because I deserve to. It'll all get better in time. Leona Lewis, she's a beautiful singer. I used to love Leona Lewis. I'm happy that her energies graced our readings. But that is a very powerful song. It'll all get better in time here with the Five of Cups reversed. You will overcome this feeling of emotional disappointment, to say the least. Loss, to say the most. Some of you may be grieving the death of a loved one, okay? It will all get better in time. For others of you, it could have felt like you grieved a loved one as though they had passed because they are no longer with you, or they've let you down and disappointed you so much that you can no longer hold love for them. It will all get better in time. You need to know that pleasure is coming back into your life slowly but surely. You're being called to open your heart space and to allow joy and at the very least friendship back in. Spirit's saying that you need to start cultivating these emotional connections with the people around you. You may have some new people entering your life, people who need to see more of you and what you're able to give. But I feel slow and steady with this, not just about jumping in and getting a shock, you know, a nerve shock of the situation. Just slow cultivation here. Your future self is really just wanting to hug you and commend you for what you've been able to go through this year. You've overcome a lot of, I want to say, just challenges in the sense of maybe they just kept adding up. Maybe you just kept asking yourself, when is it going to get easier? When is it going to get easier? When am I finally going to get a win? When is this feeling finally going to go? When is this obsessive thought finally going to go? It's almost like a heaviness here needing to be ripped off our shoulders. It feels like somebody's taking the strap off our chest and pulling this load off our back, almost like we couldn't do it ourselves. We forgot there was even an option to do that. So I do feel a massive feeling of relief here. I sense that the end of this year has your mind working in overdrive, and your future self is encouraging you to just focus on what is logically at this point making you happy and to let go of what is not, because it's time to stop betraying ourselves and letting other people's lack of actions betray us as well. What else does group one's future self want them to know, Spirit? We have the universe reversed, so we are stuck in the cycle here. When I see this card reversed, the main thing I feel is that it can't end like this. So it makes me think that there is something going on here where you can't have it. You can't have that gum for breakfast. You can't have that bubble gum again for dinner. Like, we have to nourish ourselves. We have to achieve the best possible outcome here. And in order to do that, some of y'all need to set your sights higher and to appreciate that the truth has been revealed when it comes to the best possible outcome. It's time to embrace reality for what it is and to allow our new opportunities to manifest. For others of you, the universe reversed is just saying that you may be experiencing delays towards things that you have been wanting for a very long time. You might find that you've put a lot of effort and resources into this, and there are still setbacks and delays. I have a feeling that, there's a reason why this is happening. Either we need to readjust our expectations over what the outcome should be and start feeding energy into a different avenue, or we need to appreciate that if this is really what we want, then there's going to be a lot of setbacks and delays here. There are other forces at play as well. Your past seems to really be holding you back, group one, and your future self is trying to say that it will get easier if you embrace the endings in order to allow new things in. It's like some of y'all are denying yourselves the opportunity to put an ending to this, to put a full stop there, Spirit's saying, so that you can actually start a new sentence. It's like you'll keep putting commas and then semicolons and then a hyphen. The sentence hasn't finished yet. Don't let it finish. Spirit's like, no, it's finished. We need to let it finish. Your future self is like, honestly, you have free will. We have free will. If we want, we can keep putting the commas and the semicolons and the hyphens in, but it's only going to create more difficulty, more delays. And I'm also hearing destruction for some of you, especially if this has to do with material endeavors and a sense of wanting material success. It's the same old shit, just another day is what I'm feeling here. I also want you to know that if you have been feeling as though your emotional needs haven't been met in a relationship, there is this feeling as though you're clinging to a past version of what this situation was rather than the present situation of what it is. Spirit's almost indicating here with the South Node and Taurus reversed that our Venusian needs aren't being met. Either we're not feeling great about ourselves in this situation and it's making us really question our self-worth and our integrity, right? How much we've put in, or we're just really clinging to what was and not what is. Now, that is why I think the Eight of Swords is here as well. Your future self is saying, sweets, we have to start seeing things for what they are. We can't keep holding ourselves responsible for things that have already happened. We have to let go of what has happened. We have to appreciate that there is so much truth right here in front of us. The past serves as a constant reminder of what could have been, but there is no way that we can actually use this beautiful, miraculous thing called hindsight to change what has already happened. They're also pointing out to you, if you believe in this concept, I know that we're all at different sort of journeys when it comes to spirituality, but there's obviously the very popular theory amongst even scientists as well as spiritualists that timing is non-linear, and that's what your future self is reminding you, if that's relevant, if you believe in that. The Eight of Swords is saying that you're actually creating more blockages by focusing on what has been. You are creating as we speak. Time is non-linear. The best possible outcome is yet to happen, and it could be happening as we speak. By clinging to what has happened, you're denying yourself access to what could be here in front of you, as well as what you could have if you just switch your way of thinking. There's a thought, and this is something that I believe in when it comes to spirituality and manifesting. I believe that there are different tracks in life, that there is a slower learner's lane, there is a chill sort of zen lane where you kind of coast through and go with the flow, and then there is a fast-paced lane to success where you are in this constant push and pull with the universe, putting as much effort towards your goals as you can, and then giving as much of the things that are out of your control to the universe as you can, co-creating at a faster pace, staying in tune with what you can achieve, while also setting high ambitious sights. And it feels like you're over here in the learner's lane, learning your lessons at the moment and experiencing a lot of delays. Your future and higher self are saying that your reality needs to align with what you actually want. And I think that some of your thoughts are limiting you. It's like the idea is you want success in your career or your relationships, or you just want connection and to be seen and held by the people around you. But you cling to actions and people and timings in your past, or maybe even in your present, that do not fulfill those needs and those outcomes and those expectations. So instead, it's about switching that thought, that intention, and that action towards where you can get those needs met so that you can allow more of that in. Take that if it resonates. It's a very specific message there. Is there anything else that Group 1's future self wants them to know, Spirit? Hello, Death card. Yeah, this is a period of transformation. So my last reading could have been very helpful for you. How are you transforming? I just feel that Scorpio season is going to be very impactful for you. This is a timeless reading technically. I want to say November all the way through to January, sweets, because of the universe here. Universe makes me think of Saturn, which makes me think of Capricorn and Aquarius. So Scorpio season, November all the way through to January, maybe even early February, is going to be emotionally transformative for you, especially if you embrace the truth of interactions with people around you, the partnerships, the truth of what these thoughts and this constant feeling of betrayal is, or disappointment is telling you. It's like you're really going to be purging and shedding a layer here that's either strongly associated to your emotions or partially attached to your ego and what your ego thought was going to be the best possible outcome for you. I see that in this process, you're allowing yourself to purge old expectations, old attachments, old beliefs, while also just being this open nerve, ready to experience new things. Slow and steady with the new things though. You don't want to rush anything new here. You just want to slowly open yourself up and allow yourself to acclimate to the new environment that you find yourself in, almost as though you've shed your outer layer. You're a bit vulnerable. You're very fresh. You're very soft. We need you to just slowly get used to your situation again. What's your bottom deck energy? The Emperor. The Emperor is almost contradicting everything that I just said, but these two energies do kind of go hand in hand. We have like a scorpionic theme going on here, a little bit of Mars, a little bit of Pluto, a little bit of Scorpio, a little bit of Aries. There is this feeling with the Emperor as your bottom deck energy that you are going to get through this. You are going to be able to push through this. You are someone that has a lot of endurance. You're very emotionally resilient is what I would want to say, and you're someone who can undergo a lot of pressure, but this isn't a permanent situation. You shouldn't have to go through this all the time. So that main message that your future self wants you to know is that it does get better with time. And I see with the Emperor here that you will return to a state of feeling confident in yourself, feeling capable, feeling decisive, feeling ready to take action, and feeling as though you can accomplish what you set out to do, not because you have your heart set on it, but because you know that this is something that is meant to be yours. You will have a healthy connection to your ego again, where you can trust yourself and what you want, and you will feel like you can trust yourself more once you let go of people, places, actions, and behaviors that constantly make you contradict yourself and question whether you can trust yourself. I don't think that the real question is, can you trust yourself? It's more so, why is this person, place, behavior, thing making me question this in the first place? That's all I want to say. Let's get some channeled messages, shall we, from your future self. What does Group 1's future self want to say to them? Group 1. What does Group 1's future self want to say to them? Please give me time. I've never felt this way before. Your mind is a powerful thing to waste. The brain is a powerful thing to waste. I'm pretty sure that's a Biggie Smalls lyric. The brain is a terrible thing to waste. I can't remember what song it's from though, but the Nine of Swords, you are going to receive clarity, and at first there may be pain, I've got to be honest, because you almost feel like there's sorrow here associated with it, as though you do need to grieve something, or you need to almost acknowledge it for what it is and reconsider the way you're going to be moving forward. But by now you've already invested a lot of energy into this, so you're questioning whether that's actually the right thing to do. And then there may be also a feeling of guilt. Is giving up the right thing to do? Honestly, it's a process of slowly forgiving yourself and allowing yourself to be free again. The Nine of Swords is an epiphany card for a reason. The truth will be revealed, and it's all about how you choose to react to it. If you need time to process it, give yourself time. But your future self wants you to know that the truth is going to come out, whether you want to see it or not. Group 1, what else do they need to know? Time to ground yourself. I feel like you're at a point where things are supposed to be uncomfortable. You're not supposed to technically be cozy, because this is not technically where you're supposed to be. You're at a temporary point in your life, in your journey, where you're supposed to be changing. Your emotions are supposed to be guiding you towards stability, towards this harmony and connection and wealth that you crave. Not even crave, sweets. It's more like you deserve this. You deserve this kind of stability. You deserve to know that at the end of the day, when you're grey and old, you have people who will care about you. You have goals that you have accomplished. You have a legacy that will surpass you. You're not supposed to feel like you need to question every action that you take. In fact, this card could be saying that, as uncomfortable as it is, this is a period of growth for you. It's not supposed to be comfortable. You're supposed to be outgrowing your situation. I want to just take a quick second to say that if you do experience anxiety and anxiousness, panic attacks, or any sort of anxiety disorder, I think it would be very helpful for you to seek methods that are grounding and that can help you feel and cope with some of these anxious feelings or these overwhelming feelings as well. There's just this feeling as though you haven't been able to really connect and ground yourself in a long time. And while on one hand your future self is saying, yes, that's because you're not supposed to be comfortable, we got to move, I also just want to point out that it's not always that easy, especially if you are battling with anxiety and other mental health conditions or anxiety disorders. So always reach out for professional support if that's something that you feel is going to be helpful, or if that's something that you just want for yourself. You don't have to try to be your own hero here. You can call for support, and you can always seek out that professional avenue as well. I just want to say that. What else does group 1's I'm getting confused now, future self want to say to them, Spirit? Anything else from their future self? Words do hurt, but inaction leads to nothing. There is this message again of dwelling on past promises or past little breadcrumbs. Listen, words do hurt is almost saying that there's a lot that has been left unsaid, but it's the lack of actions that are causing more pain. I've never gotten this message with this card before, so this is really interesting. Lack of action causes more pain is what Spirit's saying. Words may hurt, and really dwelling on what could have, would have, should have been said could be eating you alive, but it's actually the lack of action that is hurting you even more. There is a feeling here that your future self is like, listen, the only things we regret when we move forward in terms of in the future are the chances we didn't take and the moves we didn't make. It's not so much what we didn't say, it's like, what situations did we not take advantage of? What information did we not digest enough to be able to know what we wanted to do next? Your future self is being very harsh on you, I feel. I kind of just want to wrap you in cotton wool and give you like 3 dozen boxes of tissues while you get through this thing. But your future self is like, we got to get out of here. We're martyring ourselves. We're making this more difficult than it needs to be. It will get better in time, but you need to push through and start facing the truth so that you can embrace new cycles. You need to know that you're transforming. This can end as soon as you let yourself see that it has ended. Interesting. Can we get some nicer messages, please? I'll get you one. Look at this. Look at your future self. You are wrong. Oh my days. I want to get a sweet message for you next. Can we get something sweet, please, from their future self? Are you just that kind of person? Do you talk to yourself straight like that internally? I'm both. I'm like my own mother and father internally, my inner voice. I'll be like very strict and down the line, and then on the other hand, I'm like nurturing myself and complimenting myself every time I see a mirror. Two sides of the same coin. Group 1, please, Spirit. Can we get a closing words of affirmation from their future self for Group 1? Any closing advice or words of affirmation for Group 1? Shut my mouth and call me Ralph. We have speak up, use your voice, or express yourself. Isn't that what they were saying over here? There is this feeling of like, you deserve to be heard. Your thoughts deserve to be heard. Spirit's saying seen. Your thoughts deserve to be seen. I don't know if you've been blocking thoughts from coming in, or if some of you have been blocking the truth to the point where you don't even want to see it. You don't even want to acknowledge it. But there is this like throat chakra unblocking energy here. And I feel that that is going to prompt a lot of new communication, or the courage to be able to say what you feel. For some of you, it's just about speaking up about the truth and really voicing your concerns about this unfair situation that you're in. Your future self is reminding you that you deserve to be seen, you deserve to be heard, and in this case, you can use your voice to express yourself in the situation that you're in. Group 1, I'm going to leave it there, because I got to film Group 2 and 3 as well. But I hope this reading was helpful for you. Just a little check-in with our future selves to see what wisdom and advice they can impart to us. Your future self was ruthless, but also very specific, and I feel very helpful. If this message was resonating for you, I hope that you do get to where you deserve to be. Know that this is really what is the goal here for you in terms of the events that have been happening to you and that have caused this pain. It is supposed to bring you into this feeling of connection and legacy and like worth in terms of like just a full accomplishment of your lifetime. You're supposed to finish this lifetime with a strong sense of accomplishment. Nobody's going to question whether you were a functioning member of society. People will be like, you wrote the book. Group 1 wrote the book of how to be a functioning member of society. They were loved, they were cherished, they were accomplished, they achieved, they traveled, they were constantly developing. And that is the goal here of your future self, trying to really kick your butt is what I feel. I'm sending you so much love and light, Group 1. Thank you so much for tuning in and joining me today. I really appreciate this energy exchange. I'm sending you so much love and light. I got to say that again. Before you go, I just want to take a quick second to thank your spiritual team and my spiritual team for helping me channel these messages and for keeping me safe while doing so. Don't forget, I have launched my Protected by My Angels merch. I changed the collection name today, so I'm still like getting used to it, but hashtag Protected by My Angels merch. It's a very limited little group at this stage. There's other stuff coming to my online store, but until then, if you see something that you like, I will be delivering it in terms of shipping it from my home to yours personally and writing little notes in each box. That has been my funnest, my most favorite part, is like leaving little notes in the boxes. But anyway, I think I'm going to leave it there. I won't take up any more of your time. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope to connect with you soon. Bye. Hi, Group 2, and welcome. If you chose this trypophobic piece of coral or this card that says fun, then this is going to be your reading. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm going to put this piece of coral over here because it is making me feel uncomfortable. Okay, Group 2, we're asking Spirit about your future self. We want to know what message your future self has for you. Group 1's was straight to the point, so let's figure out what is going to come through for you. I'm going to start with these oracle cards. I feel like these were very helpful in the last group. We're going to continue on. What's going on with my little crystal collection over here. What are y'all doing? It's like they all just decided to break up for the day. Go on to their separate corners, okay? Group 2, please, Spirit. What does their future self want to say to them? Please tune me into Group 2's energy, Spirit. What does Group 2's future self want to say to them? Hello. What does Group 2's future self want to say to them, Spirit? There's something in here that needs to come out. There we go. Thank you. I'll start with these. If we need more, I'll get more. Wow, look at this. Lucky I saw that. I had my eyes closed the whole time. It was sitting on my Palo Santo ashtray over here. The Mystic coming out for you. I gotta check if anything fell on the ground now while I was in my little zone. No, we're good. Okay, so we have the Mystic. Let me organize myself. We have the Mirror. What else do we have? The Siren. Y'all got the Siren as well. Interesting. We have the Unseen. I promise I shuffled, but we're getting similar cards to Group 1. I don't usually like to say, I've learned the hard way that I shouldn't really tell you which group gets similar cards to you, but because you're Group 2, you're going to know. Like, there's only one other group that's been filmed before you. We have the Hunter coming out as well. And we also have the Creator. Let me just wipe my nose because it's starting already. Group 2. What does their future self want to say to them, Spirit? Gotta get my crystals. I gotta charge these actually, they're very low. Group 2, your future self, first of all, wants you to know that your intuition is dead on about something to do with your heart and your head. They're saying trust your intuition. For some of you, this is your gut instinct, but I also have a feeling that you've been overthinking the situation and over-scrutinizing it, over-observing it, the 2 eyes here. They're like, listen, just because you can doesn't mean you should. Try not to over-consume your psychic resources. If you know what the truth is, you have to allow it to manifest as it is meant to. The other thing about this Mystic card is that I feel that there is a lot of information coming through you and you may be clogging up your channel by consuming too much of the same thing. If you know the truth of that situation, let it be and stay open for more messages. There's a message about your family coming through here. Someone from your past connected to your family, could be a family member, an auntie, is wanting to connect with you. It doesn't feel like anything serious. It more just feels like wanting more time with you. There just seems to be like a family message here that I have to honor because it's being pushed through as well by another family member in the spirit side of things. Your future self just wants you to know that it is about balancing your life at the moment, and I am sensing that you are going to have certain regrets over how you spent your time in the upcoming months. So we know, for example, that the next 2 months are going to be busy when it comes to the holidays. I'm getting a sense of guilt here in this group as though you have prioritized other things instead of what maybe your heart wants to do or your loyalty should do. You know what is in the situation, but your future self is just saying like, yeah, we do kind of end up regretting not going to that family function and ditching that instead. I also want you to know that you have been really harsh on yourself lately though. I feel like with the mirror reversed, you've been like over analyzing or scrutinizing a situation and assuming the worst case, either that you've messed things up or that you haven't done things right. And I don't think that's been the case, Group 2. I think that this is a case of reading too deep, looking for something that almost isn't there as well, and just waiting until you see a glimpse of it and going, I knew it. I knew that was going to happen. And your future self is like, listen, it's time to step away from the mirror for a little bit and to actually stop being so harsh on ourselves. I'm also getting that by staring at this for so long, you're also missing out on something else that's going on around you. This could be a case of by doing too many pick a group readings, you're missing the opportunity to create that moment in your present, or by really over scrutinizing that moment that happened in your past, you're missing out on the opportunity to create that in your present. Whatever it is, it's kind of like you're distracted here by what could have gone wrong or what could be going wrong, rather than what you can do now to make things better. I want to say with the Creator reversed, There is a clear message here of embracing some sort of goal that you have before the end of the year. You may have given yourself a little checklist. It could be as simple as finish school. It could be as big as start that project, or really make sure that I do this or that. Whatever it is, they're saying it's time to commit to it. I feel that you haven't grounded this yet. There could be practical delays, for example, resources. Maybe you don't have the means to do this. But if you do have the means, if there has been a project that you've been delaying, your future self is really encouraging you to start that now and to stop procrastinating. There is an overall message here of please stop procrastinating, because it's not going to get better. It's just going to continue to build and cause more grief. So on top of trying not to beat yourself up too much, they're like, just please start doing these things that you've been putting off. And for some of you, this has to do with a project. But with the Creator card reversed, there's also this message of expressing yourself and allowing yourself more room for the things that are a part of your nature. So, excuse me, these may not even be things that you think you want to do, but you won't realize how much you've missed them until you start doing them again. Things that were a big part of who you are. You may have gravitated towards them more when you were at a more carefree, sort of naive time in your life, like in your childhood, or when you had way less responsibilities. These forge parts of your nature, and it feels like you need to nurture them more and do more of them to be able to balance out that side of you that needs to express itself and have something as an outlet. I also want to say that you are somehow cutting yourself short from some sort of opportunity here. So they really just want you to stop procrastinating. And because this is a general reading, I think that's as far as I can go with that card, but we'll see what Tarot has to say after as well. With the Siren here reversed, you are being blocked from something. This is the same message for group 1 as well. It's almost like you're being protected from something, and Spirit's like, we need to actually stop calling that in, and we need to start appreciating what hasn't come yet, because it feels like you're about to be surprised by something here that you weren't expecting. With the Hunter reversed and the Unseen, it's almost like something you're not expecting is about to surprise you, and either you have been manifesting it but not in the way that you expected, or it's very different to something that you expected. So just keep an open mind and trust that your vibration is attracting what it is meant to. Like attracts like in this situation, but I feel that your expectations need to be open. It feels like it has to do with a person for the Hunter to be here. The Hunter for me is like a persona, an archetype of personalities. So it could be a person who's quite shy or not usually a go-getter, someone who you wouldn't usually associate with, someone who you're not expecting, someone who's going to catch you off guard, and someone who would you stare at them and watch them come in, they might back out and not be courageous enough to step towards you. So leave your expectations open when it comes to this. Trust that what is meant for you is coming. Your energy is attracting something mutual. Look at this. This is bloody Kirk's litter on my elbow. Cats, I tell you. Oh, I'm surprised he hasn't made an appearance in your reading though, speaking of Kirk. Anyway, what else was I needing to tell you about this? There's something else with the Unseen. I can't put my finger on it. There's something going on here with this card. It's supposed to be like this. I think it's blocked for a reason. We're not supposed to know because you've been over asking. You might be like me. I've been doing so many mini readings on Instagram lately. Interesting. Let's see what Tarot can tell us. You're not supposed to know, but why is it here then? Group 2, please, Spirit. What does their future self want them to know? What does Group 2's future? We have the Ace of Swords reversed. Stop looking. That's interesting. You're getting a no. If you asked a yes or no question, the answer is no. Group 2, please, Spirit. What does their future self want them to know? We have the Emperor. There's that ambition, that forward-moving energy. We have Cardinal energy here. Aries. What else is after that? Aries, Cancer, Libra, Capricorn. We also have the Universe reversed. We're getting some repeat cards here. Group 2, please, Spirit. What does their future self want them to know? We have the Queen of Pentacles reversed. Oh, excuse me, that's upright. How dare I? Can I get some more cards? I might get at least 3. Group 2. What does their future self want them to know? We have the Queen of Cups. We got 2 queens out here. 2 queens and an emperor. What does their future self want them to know, Spirit? We also have the 5 of Pentacles reversed. Wow. And we have the 5 of Cups reversed. 2 changes that weren't supposed to be challenging, but we're making it more complicated than it is. Apparently, group 2, we're making a emotional situation. It's supposed to be like an emotional change. We're making it more complicated than it needs to be. It doesn't have to be this complicated. We need to embrace this loss or this disappointment and keep ourselves open with optimism of what is coming next. If you've been disappointed recently in a relationship, you know, I'm just going to leave it at that. It could be a friendship, a romantic situation, a family situation. It is a relationship. If you felt disappointed, I think that it's time to let that disappointment be what it is and stay open for something else to come in the sense of it's changing and it's not as bad as we are making it out to be. This isn't a complete loss. For this to be a 5 reversed and not a 10 of Cups reversed, this isn't a complete loss. We may have been accidentally feeding into a disappointment instead of looking at it as a little blip in the relationship. Your bottom deck energy is the 7 of Pentacles reversed, so you're very impatient. And your future self group 2 is saying like, listen, I know, I know you're impatient. I know that you just want things to happen like now when it comes to certain things. You're really out here trying to understand like, where am I? What am I doing? What's coming next? But you also need to appreciate that things are going to happen when they're meant to happen. Natural forces are at play here and you cannot rush natural forces. A seed will grow as it is intended to. And in your case, you've done everything you can. You've put the seed in the soil, you've watered it, you've hired that fertilization book from the library, you bought the book, the fertilizer, just like the book says, you extended the rental period on the book and waited and waited and waited. If it hasn't grown yet, we need to let nature take its course here. I want you to know that you are being blocked from certain things, like you're not supposed to know some things yet. With the Ace of Swords reversed, Spirit's saying you know everything that you're meant to right now. You need to use the information that you have to take action towards the things that are annoying you and frustrating you and feel like blockages. You're supposed to feel like this. You're supposed to feel frustrated because you are the hero. You're Bob the Builder. Nobody can fix this except you. And Spirit's really trying to tell you that. But your future self, more than anything, is like, it's time. It's time. Please, let's stop delaying and what's the word? Procrastinating. Let's focus on those projects, on those big things that we've been putting off, and let's feed our frustration about how this situation is just not going in the way that that tarot reading told us towards our goals right now. You are going to accomplish something big very soon, but it's all determined upon the action that you can take. What is this big thing? Can you tell us? The 9 of Cups, it's a wish fulfillment. It's going to make you very happy, but there's also an element of luck here, like almost as much as your actions are required, it also has to do with this happening in the moment. So what else can you tell us about this? Yeah, it requires courage. It requires you kind of just like squashing your ego and going for it. You may have to act in the moment. It's going to really be almost like a leap of faith, but it's not quite, because I'm being shown the Death card. So it's more about overcoming fear and just having the courage to do this. I feel like this situation, yeah, it's something that is going to be very passionate, or it's going to be very inspiring. I feel like it's going to be one of those moments that you look back on and you're going to go, wow, I'm so glad I did that. Imagine if I didn't. Like, if you didn't do this, you would miss out on so much else, because with this Ace of Wands here, it's almost like giving birth to a whole new way of living for you. Pretty big, pretty big. I think we're going to leave that there though. Sorry to just bait you with such beautiful news, but I could feel that you're about to accomplish something here. Overcoming your fears, having courage to step towards something that your heart really wants, taking advantage of the opportunity as it presents itself, and giving birth to new possibilities when it comes to interests, passions, desires. This has to do with you having the courage and not putting off the actions that you can take in the windows that you have to make them. I also want to say that there's something about your mother going on here with the Queen of Pentacles. This could be that family situation I was picking up on before. I don't know if like there's some sort of family thing that you're supposed to go to before the end of the year, but it feels like you kind of need to do this because it's going to make other people really happy. And listen, I'm not going to technically tell you what to do, but I need you to know that your future self really wants you to honor what your values, what's going to appeal to your values. So it feels like your future self is trying to kind of get you to honor like a motherly relationship here, or a really nurturing relationship that you have with someone, and to do this for them. But I know that a lot of people in our community, we don't have like the most straightforward relationships with our families. So if that is something that would cause more pain than good, then obviously that message isn't for you. But there is this feeling of like honoring some sort of like nurturing relationship here, and really being there to show face for that person. The other thing with the Queen of Pentacles is that hustle, that grind that we were talking about, getting into this energy of like, I can and I will. I have the Midas touch. What I touch turns to gold. The Queen of Pentacles is asking for you to see yourself as someone that is confident, as someone that is capable, but more so as someone that can continue to grow, whether you choose to grow slowly, whether you choose to have a growth spurt because the seasons are just right for you and your fertilization. Why does it keep coming back to fertilization? I don't know. But there is just this feeling of like you're still developing, and your future self wants you to see you as like someone who is successful and who is going to be successful, having that mindset. I think this is just to help you get through some busy or just really intense periods, especially in work or with family. They just want you to see yourself highly, to have high self-worth, so that you can really acknowledge what you are able to do. I don't know, there's something about your future self saying like, continue to be ambitious and continue to see yourself as someone who will evolve successfully. And this kind of, I think, has to do with your confidence in having the courage to do something about a wish fulfillment here, because we also have feelings coming out. And I feel like your future self is trying not to like be too disclosing of what's going on, while also trying to gas you up to wear your heart on your sleeve and be confident enough to do this big thing that feels like it's going to take a lot of courage. I don't know, I've been getting a lot of like action in my readings lately, and I feel that for you, group 2, you have this moment here where like your intuition is telling you something. You've been like looking at the worst case scenario at times and really beating yourself up over small things, feeling like you're repelling everything, when actually there's a lot going on in the background, and an unexpected turn of events is going to really require you to step up with courage and to react in a way where this is actually something that's making me very, very, very happy. I want more of this. I feel confident enough, I feel secure enough in myself to accept this great thing into my life, to not have imposter syndrome, to acknowledge it as something that I have manifested because I'm worthy of it, and that I will embrace this and claim this in my life. That's kind of what your future self seems to be doing, really trying to gas you up and get you ready to accept this into your life, because they don't want you to continue to see yourself as lacking. There is also another message here with the 5 of Pentacles reversed. The first thing I heard when that card came out was, please get serious about your money. So I don't know if like you've been thinking about like a financial scheme or some sort of savings thing. Your finances will improve, but the end of the year comes with a lot of expenses naturally. This is my practical side coming in. But your future self is encouraging you to just be very serious about your coin and to prepare yourself for some big payments here. It's not that you're not expecting them, but I think that they may be taking a little more than what you are expecting. You may be giving a little more, buying a little more than what you were expecting to do. So look at your money realistically. Look at what you're working with realistically. It doesn't have to be this difficult. It doesn't have to be like a period of going without. So just make sure that you're not overspending. Make sure you're checking your account balances. You're checking those little transactions with Mercury here. Make sure you're checking those little transactions, those ATM fees, or, you know, those little, maybe you've got like another, what do they call it? Like streaming service that you've signed up for that you never use. Maybe you could cancel that because $14.99 a month adds up. Maybe there's a gym service fee that you haven't been using that you could cancel. There's some sort of little thing to get on top of here with your money, and just making sure that those little things, by the time we get to February, you know, and we're still recovering from Christmas, that's like $45 sent to Netflix when we only watched one movie over the holidays. I don't think anybody does that with Netflix, but it could be something else. So just be careful here, please. Last message has to do with your Five of Cups, disappointment. And honestly, you guys have set that ship ashore too soon. You're disappointing yourselves over something that isn't actually going to happen, in the sense of, I see you recovering from a loss here. Your future self is telling you that it's actually going to get very better, a lot better very soon. I was going to say very better a lot soon. It's going to get a lot better very soon here with the Five of Cups reversed. But again, I'm not supposed to tell you that because you have been hyper fixated on the outcome, and that has led to the disappointment in your group, Sweet Pea. You've been so focused on the little changes, the little blips, and assuming that this is the downfall, this is the big final be-all end-all, when actually it was just a minor blip in the overall chapter of this season, this relationship. I do see a positive turning of events and you overcoming a feeling of loss here. Let's get some channeled messages from your future self now. What does Group 2's future self want to say to them, Spirit? What does Group 2's future self want to say to them? Oh, I'm too afraid to talk. Now they're getting shy. This is the Eight of Swords. You have been martyring yourself over something, overanalyzing it, seeing the situation as a hopeless, helpless situation where you can't do anything. So channel that frustration towards the things that you can do and stop putting off the other goals in your life. It's really important that you stop seeing yourself as the victim, Sweet Pea. In this situation, you are the boss, you are the hero, you are the instigator, the creator. Please stop cutting yourself short. You need to start seeing yourself better. Some of you need to do the mirror exercise. You have the mirror and the Queen of Pentacles. It's time to sit down in front of that mirror. Honestly, I like to sit cross-legged on the floor and just look into your eyes. It might be uncomfortable and weird at first. For me, it felt like I was playing the staring game and I was just waiting for my reflection to blink. But what you want to do is just look deep into your eyes, and when you feel ready, you're going to tell yourself things that you love about yourself. And if you are really struggling with self-image and self-confidence and self-worth, you may not be able to say anything yet, and that's fine. To be honest with you, I'm sharing something personal here, but it took me like a whole year of doing that and my healthy journey in terms of what I was doing with my diet and my gym stuff as well, before I was able to actually sit there long enough to say what I loved about myself. So eventually you want to get to a point where you're able to say what you love about yourself while staring deep into your eyes. You can look at yourself if you need to, but when you speak, I want you to look into your eyes and say those words. And that will genuinely foster and start to nourish a very healthy, connected feeling of self-love in a very intimate way that will feel a little unnatural at first, but is incredibly transformative. Your future self is really calling for you to start seeing yourself as the hero, as worthy, as divine, as capable, as Midas. Everything you touch turns to gold. You are the hero, not the victim, sweet pea. Yeah, your future self. Look at this. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. So I feel like things are going to take a turn in the sense of, let me get this off the ground. It's not as bad as you thought it was. I'm sorry. It's not as bad as you thought it was. You are going to have your happy ending. The 10 of Cups, you make my heart full. I'm sorry. It's not as bad as you thought it was. You are going to get your happy ending. Group 2, I worry about us a lot. I think you have a lot of thoughts racing in your head that you may need to collate and write down. But the other reason why the 7 of Swords is here is because there are pieces of information that are missing. There are holes in the story that you've been listening to. And while I think that some of this was intentional, I think that we're also fishing for information in unconventional places, and it's time to focus on the facts. It's time to either ask the primary source, or if we cannot do that, we just focus on the information that we have and we move forward with the information that we have. We also have the 3 of Cups in the reverse position. I have a feeling that maybe there is one friend in particular that you could have been neglecting recently, that someone that really lights you up, makes you feel good about yourself. It might be time to touch base with them and to get that warm feeling back that you have in your friendship. Otherwise, the 3 of Cups reversed is talking about taking something more seriously. Happiness should be your priority, but I think some of y'all have been overcomplicating the term happiness. I think it's about just focusing on the feeling, not necessarily seeking that meaning in every single thing that you do. Looking for things that simply make you smile, or that simply make you feel comfortable and warm, or things that simply help you feel like you belong. Sometimes happiness is as simple as having, a moment to walk down to the shops in your pajamas without feeling judged. Happiness can be as simple as putting makeup on, making yourself feel good when you don't actually need to go anywhere. I don't know. It just feels like we've been overcomplicating this a little bit. Group 2, what does their future self want them to know? Oh, your future self wants you to make more self-care time, but they also want you to know that your situation is changing rapidly, unexpectedly. There is movement here where you think there isn't. So please just keep your expectations open. Don't cut your journey short before it's even begun. You're only at a little blip. This isn't the be-all, end-all. And know that momentum is building. You could be receiving communication, but it's really important that you don't overanalyze this, and that if you cannot get information from the primary source, then try to stop confusing yourself and blocking your channel by getting information from all these secondary, or even in some cases third resources. What comes after secondary? We have primary sources, we have secondary sources, and then what? We just have associates? People who are affiliates, not even really directly connected. The thing you need to know is that the energy around you is changing. Traction is, you have traction in this situation is what I wanted to say. So I feel this situation transforming, and I do think that as impatient as you may have felt, things are going to change soon. I see you coming out of a period of inaction and taking action towards ideas that you've been ruminating over for some time. You're still technically recovering from something, you're still technically healing, but it is time to start taking action again and to stop putting certain things off. I do see communication coming in very soon from somebody. It feels like, yeah, this is very new. This is either a new person or it's new communication, like a new thread of communication. This is that Ace of Wands person we were talking about. So I feel like maybe this has to do with you having courage, or it could just be about you being open enough to it. Yeah, it feels like it's a transformation. So are they going to take action, sweets, or I want you to choose? I don't want to confuse you guys. I don't want to confuse you, but if you have been meaning to take action towards somebody, then this is your confirmation that yes, you should, because it's not as bad as you think it is. It's going to be fine. If you've been waiting for someone to take action towards you, I think that there's going to be a lot of grey, slow periods of letting them feel confident enough to move towards you, because remember, this is not a hunter. This is someone who is shy. This is someone who is not as confident as they may appear, and they're going to take time. So whichever side of the fence you fall on there, sweets, whether you're the one that's wanting to take courage and do this, or whether you're waiting for this person to have courage. If you're waiting for them to have courage, it's going to take some time, because they're a shy person and they need you to stop scrutinizing the energy in this situation so that they can come in. Is there any closing words of affirmation and advice you can offer your past self, please? Group 2's future self. What does Group 2's future self want to say to their current self? Oh, that was so close. The happy endings card just flashed itself and then shuffled back into the deck. You are going to have a happy ending. I see it. I'm calling it. You're going to have a happy ending. But until then, you need to know wisdom comes through the mistakes. This is a lesson, apparently. You're going to learn a lot from this period in your life, mostly about it self-sabotaging for some. By gathering too much information and shooting yourself in the foot and accidentally causing an ending when there wasn't really an ending. But for others of you, it is a lesson of patience, a lesson of temperance, and a lesson of simply allowing things to grow as they are intended to, and focusing on what you can control instead of what you cannot. Regardless, your closing message from your future self is wisdom through mistakes. We are in a learning period, and this lesson is trying to teach us something. And I feel like this is more about your focus, getting focused on the right things and stepping away from the distractions and the unhelpful things that have been really damaging our self-worth, our courage, and our ability to allow the right things to be attracted to us. We have to acknowledge our worth and see it for what it is so that others can as well, and so that the right things can come towards us. Group 2, that's what I see for you when it comes to this message from your future self. I hope you enjoyed this reading. It has been a pleasure to read for you today. Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate this energy exchange. I also just want to take a quick second to thank our spiritual teams for joining me today and for helping me channel these messages. Thank you, thank you, thank you for keeping me safe as well while channeling this energy. If you are interested in my hashtag protected by my angels merch, please check out my website. My link tree is in the description box. It has been so much fun so far, leaving little notes in these merch orders. I'm loving being able to ship it myself. I thought it would be overwhelming, but it's been good. It's been very well paced so far, so can't complain. Thank you so much for your energy and for your time. I hope to connect with you very, very soon. Bye. Hi, group 3. Why did I say it like that? I'm so sorry. I'm not going to re-record. Let's just keep rolling. Hi, group 3, and welcome. If you chose this gorgeous shell, or maybe you chose this card, pleasure, then this is going to be your reading. I'm going to pop these in the corner here as usual so that we have room to do your reading. Welcome, group 3. What do I need to tell you? I need to tell you why you're here. We're doing a messages from your future self reading today. It will be a general reading. I don't know why I need to tell you this, but in general readings, it's very healthy and helpful to practice discernment. Take what resonates. Do not let the rest take from you. So group 3, what else do I need to tell you? I guess we're just going to get straight into it. You have an interesting energy to me. Let's get some oracle cards. What does group 3's future self want them to know? I am just constantly losing my train of thought with you. I don't know what this is. Group 3, what does their future self want them to know, Spirit? Please connect me to group 3's energy. What does group 3's future self want them to know? What does group 3's future self want them to know? What does group 3's future self want them to know, Spirit? What does group 3's future self want them to know? I'm seeing open your eyes. What does their future self want them to know? Interesting. We have the Queen as your bottom deck energy. You are an interesting energy. I can't quite put my finger on it, and it's very annoying for me because I like to put my fingers on things, but there's something about you that is slightly off, sweets. You are very there in the sense of like you're so high vibrational. You seem to be very put together. It's kind of like there's a tiny little piece missing here, and I can't quite put my finger on it. It's very frustrating. It feels like and maybe this is the energy that you're in. You feel like you're doing everything right, you're doing everything that you can in life, and there's still something missing here. Now, for some of you, this could have to do with love, because we have the Lover and the One over here. Maybe you feel like you're doing everything right. You still don't have that special person in your life. You're still waiting for that special person. For others of you, this could have to do with friendship, and you feel like you haven't got that soul family around you that you want to, those kindred spirits to help nourish you. And then for others of you, it feels like you're trying to grow something here and you just have not been successful. You may have had some unsuccessful pregnancies. I want to say that lightly. I don't mean to trigger you. That is a topic that personally is very triggering, so I'm not going to dwell on that too much, but just take it if it resonates to know that this is the group that you've picked. And it was correct for you. But group 3, regardless, your energy is like 99% there, and there's still something missing. And I honestly want to tell you that I don't think it's you. I think that you have given more than enough. I think that you've been out here allowing your energy to be as malleable and present and giving and constant and consistent as possible. I think your future self wants you to know that there are still some things that aren't within reach, and this is not your fault. There's only so much that you can do, and I think that you'll appreciate this in the future. The crone is an indication of wisdom to me, and it makes me think that in hindsight, it's going to make a lot more sense. But if you can, in your current situation, use your wisdom to help get you through this, then that is the advice for right now. I feel like your future self wants you to remind yourself that you are very wise, that you are very knowledgeable, and that you have all the information that you can possibly have right now. They also want you to practice what you preach in certain situations. So if you're that person that's always giving advice to others, telling them what to do, right? Then it is time to take some of that advice for yourself as well. If you're a fellow reader, it's time to watch one of your own readings, take out that journal and pick a group and start writing. Learn and practice what you preach, Spirit's saying. Your future self is saying that, listen, if you've been concerned about love, you don't need to be concerned about love. I see a very significant relationship here. I see that you are about as close to yourself as you could be, group 3. This is a strong indication of inner union to me, as well as external union with somebody who is very, very well matched and well suited in terms of you connect on a soul level as well. I do see here with the One and the Lover that if you have been stressing out about a relationship, you don't need to be. I know I keep repeating this, but I need to for you because you're like 99% there. You just need confirmation that you're on the right track. So I see a very significant person being a part of your future here, and they may already be a part of your present, but your future self wants you to know that they are a part of your future. We'll see what tarot can tell us about that person. We also have the Forest, so soul family. I also feel like the Forest is just about grounding yourself in a community of like-minded people. In your case, it feels like seeking answers from familiar places, like going back to your roots, really confiding in someone who's known you for a very long time or who understands you very well. I'm hearing better than anybody else. This could be a family person, like someone from your family, or this could just be a long-term friend, someone who feels like family. it's time to really spend time in that connection and making sure that you are confiding as much as they are as well. I feel like you are going to receive more opportunities for this in the future. Your future self wants you to know that you will continue to grow with the people that you love. So if you've been concerned about those relationships, I do see them flourishing. I also want to call out the numbers here. You have the number 3 showing up for me at least 3 times. We have 34, we have 30, and we also have 13. So the number 3 is very significant for you. You're also group 3. So that tells me that there is this feeling of like growth and expansion about you right now. There is also this feeling of being very fertile, okay? Even though the womb is reversed, we may not feel that we're fertile in the right ways. You are still growing in many, many ways. I feel that something has been blocked from being developed, and I don't think that's your fault, sweets. I really don't. I think that it's out of your control. I think that you've done everything that you could to create something here, that you've been really pushing your energy. The number 22 tells me that you don't lack in ambition or drive. You're someone who is very resourceful and you try to really take advantage of what is given to you. I think that in this case, it's just a matter of letting it happen as it is intended to, and the situation needs to grow naturally. I want to say that energy could be shifted from there to this support network, getting in touch and confiding with that person that knows you better than anybody else, and really getting them back to that point where they know you better than anybody else, because they may not know this about you, how much this has been playing on your mind. Is there anything else that they need to know from these cards, Spirit? I think that's it. We're going to get tarot. Let's get tarot and see what tarot can tell us. For group 3, please, Spirit, what does their future self want them to know? What does group 3's future self want them to know? Oh, we have the King of Cups coming out reversed. Why did I say it like that? Y'all know I'm goofy with my accents, but that was ridiculous. Group 3. I'm just going to pretend that didn't happen. I get too comfortable with you guys. Group 3. What does their future self want them to know? What does group 3's future self want them to know? We have Temperance coming out. Temperance. In the upright position, no less. Love that for us. We're seeing a union here, a reconciliation of energy for some of y'all. Temperance is also just talking about balancing something out. It takes effort, discipline sometimes, but that can help us really transform a situation. If we put that dedication in, that effort, it can help us really transform a situation. We're also being shown the moon now. Y'all got a lot of water here. Even Temperance in this deck is depicted by this mixing pot, this melting pot of Capricorn and Scorpio, with a little bit of Sagittarius overlooking the whole process. So with the King of Cups, Temperance, and the moon, there's a lot of water, a lot of emotions, a lot of magic, Spirit's saying. There's a lot of energy, and it feels like things are flowing. I feel like there is growth here. I'm almost seeing like a dried up river, just getting like this burst of water pushing through the riverbed and bringing life back into the valley. Oh my days, that's powerful. Group 3, what does their future self want them to know? Trust yourself. You're very wise. In fact, you have all the answers you need. You're very, very wise. Trust your intuition in this situation, but trust yourself most primarily, because your experiences are helping you understand your challenges. I also want you to know that in this situation, there does seem to be some sort of emotional thing going on here that could be better rectified by expressing feelings clearly. It might be a case of feelings have felt like a little bit manipulative or just inconsistent with the King of Cups reversed. I think we need to bring a more balanced sort of flow into this. I'm hearing ebb and flow, almost like there's like a weird like ding, 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 and it's syncopated. It's not quite together. We need to get back to dun, 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 dun. Instead of ding, 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 ding. Let's step together again. Let's temper this out and get back in flow. I'm sorry if that sounds very weird. I'm going to get more cards out to clarify. We have the Two of Pentacles reversed. There's that flow, routine, consistency. Some of y'all need to break routine because what we're doing isn't helping. So let's cut that out of our routine and bring in something else instead. Let's cut out that 15 minutes of screen time before bed because it's actually bringing bouts of insomnia and anxiety before bed. Let's do this instead. Let's, like, first thing when we wake up, drink a glass of water instead of milk because it's actually giving us indigestion and making us nervous and anxious on the way to work. Let's instead, on our lunch break, make sure we go outside and get some fresh air and also catch up on, what's going on in the world, and then go back to work. Whatever it is, it's like we got to break routine here because we're not getting enough of what we want. And it feels like we're not getting enough connection to what we want as well. I also feel like we're not getting enough time with the right people in our lives as well. Our emotional needs aren't being met in some way. Spirit, what does Group 3's future self want them to know? Maybe I'll have been spending too much time with certain people but not enough time with others. We have the Sun reversed. What does their future self want them to know? We have the Princess of Wands reversed. This could be delayed travel, okay? There could be cancelled or delayed travel plans here. Just be careful if you've made a booking. Make sure you have insurance. That's my practical side talking. It's not in the cards, the insurance part. But I feel with the Page of Wands reversed, it's like a journey has been cut short here. And we're waiting for advice that we can move, but there's so much uncertainty around this. We also have the Seven of Swords in the reverse position. Is there anything else from their future self? The Magus reversed. Interesting. Magician, excuse me. Can I just clarify this, the one and the lover, when it comes to relationships, please, Spirit? We have the Hanged Man reversed. Can I just clarify that? Oh my days. Okay, it is going to take time, but it's going to come through in the best of ways once it's here, unexpectedly. Yeah, it's going to take time, but it'll come through. Interesting. The Ace of Cups, Eight of Cups, High Priestess. You need to kind of stop focusing on it because it's only forcing you to see what you don't have instead of what you do have. So I'll talk about this first because I feel like we need to get that out of the way. If you've been waiting for a relationship, a really meaningful one, I feel like you're doing everything right. It's coming back to that message, like you're not doing anything wrong. But I also think that we need to surrender this with the Hanged Man reversed. We need to just appreciate that this person's going to come in when they're going to come in. And if that's what you've been doing, then perfect. If you feel a bit unsure about a relationship that you're in and you think they are the one, I have a feeling here that it is going to sort itself out, but you're going through a challenging time with this partner. And it's very much about giving yourselves space to reflect and to really connect with what your heart wants for each other. This is going to eventuate in the two of you coming back together and having a deep and meaningful conversation. And if that hasn't happened yet and you've been spending time alone, you need to set the intention and talk to your partner and say, I think we really need to have a talk. There's so much that I want to tell you and get off my chest. There needs to be a deep and meaningful conversation here. If you're in a relationship and it's struggling, you really need to connect with this person emotionally. There's still hope here. In fact, I see a real celebration, a union of energy here really coming together and being able to get through it. But you need to tackle the problems head on and stop pretending like they don't exist. You also need to appreciate that you're going through a karmic lesson with this partner right now. And until that lesson is learned, you will continue to experience difficulties because it's going to continue to be there. You may distract yourself, you may focus on other things, you may pull more things in to create more disturbances and distractions, but the ultimate crux of that karma is still going to be there. So we really need to tackle that head on so that we can start rebuilding ASAP. This challenge was inevitable if you're in a partnership. If you're single, I do see unexpected changes occurring and allowing this opportunity in. I see that your next relationship is most likely going to lead to marriage. It comes after you walk away from someone else who is no longer emotionally fulfilling and you allow yourself to be open to new things. You're going to be spending a lot of time on yourself, cultivating this sort of self-love mentality. You're going to get a lot of attention. You may do things differently in terms of your looks will physically change as well, but your energy is going to be very magnetic and you're going to attract this love offer. I see this person reaching out to you, group 3, if you're single. I see this person coming towards you with a cup and saying, hey, and it comes at a time when you have emotionally separated yourself from someone who is no longer fulfilling you. And it comes at a time where you're also not really looking for love. You're not expecting it. You're like, yeah, it'd be cool if it came in, but it's also pretty cool being single as well. I'm very secure and happy being by myself. I'm not really expecting a relationship right now. So that's to answer that question. Now, in terms of everything else, your future self is really just talking about making room for the people that you love in your life and for the things that you love doing, the things that are a part of your nature, what your heart wants. The King of Cups for me is like the most emotionally mature, intelligent, responsible person, a very kind, loving, loyal person. But when they're reversed, it's like we've either cut this person off from those feelings and made them out to be a very manipulative energy, or they're feeling very depraved of that nature. And with the Two of Pentacles reversed, it's the latter, not the former for you, group 3. You're feeling depraved in some way. There's a relationship in your life that is suffering because of your schedule. Making more room for this person is something that's going to also be something that you will really enjoy. This could be a water sign, or it could just be someone that you have like a fairly solid emotional connection with, someone who cares about you a lot. It could also be a father. I just think that if it isn't a person, it's you making room for the things that you enjoy. And this message came out in all of the groups in a different way. For you, it's about the sentimental memories. It's about the connection that you get from those moments. It's about appreciating that this is in your nature to be this caring person who does these things. And in fact, for some of y'all, it has to do with connecting with nature as well. But it's more about just making room for the parts of your personality that are undernourished right now. And it's those little times, right? Like those examples that I gave, 15 minutes before bed, first thing in the morning, on your lunch break. It doesn't have to be a hectic 2-hour process. It's just those little time slots in your daily routine. A quick phone call to my father, a quick text message to my sister, a quick email to my best friend overseas, a quick Instagram DM to my high school bestie, whoever it is. It's just like stay connected, make room. Now, I also think over here, we have another message about balance. And this one has to do with some sort of joy and reunion. So I do have a feeling here that there's delays with certain people coming into your life. I don't know if there were already intentions made, if bookings were made, but there seems to be delays here in us getting to take a journey with someone. It feels like it's going to take discipline and it's going to take some sort of transformation. And the travel could be involved. It's just very interesting. It's like your future self is saying, it's okay, you'll have time for it in the future, but understand that there may be setbacks here because there's a lot of uncertainty and it's out of your control. Especially if we're looking at this on like an international level, right, group 3? If we're looking at this as internationally, maybe the people that you love live in another country and you're still unable to get to them. Just bide your time, keep saving your resources, make sure that when you can, you will be there and able to expend energy and maybe money into this. But I am just seeing like a delay that you can't prevent or overcome, so you have to prepare for that. Now, the other thing about temperance is just about managing your expectations, sweets. And this has to do with something that you have your happiness set on. It hasn't yet happened. It may be disappointing, but I think that there is still a bitter sweet feeling in this. So this is a difficult message to convey, but it feels like someone may not be a part of our future. And I don't want to scare you. I'm not necessarily seeing death or anything, okay? But it's like your expectation is that you were expecting more time with this person or more energy exchanged here. And for whatever reason, that isn't going to happen, which is why I think it could be like a travel restriction or like something that we've put a lot of effort into this though with Temperance. It's out of our control. We've done everything that we could. It just wasn't able to come together and to be that happy ending in that case that we were expecting. So just be prepared for that. Your future self is warning you, mostly because this doesn't have to be the end of your joy, the end of your happiness. But it does need to be something that you need to consider moving forward. Your future self would only share this with you if it were helpful. So I need you to remember that. This isn't going to be a worst case scenario. This is more about managing your expectations and allowing yourself to continue to save your resources if that's the case until they can be used at an appropriate time. The other thing over here with the moon is there's some sort of like mystery around your situation right now, and you're being called to have a lot of trust and a lot of faith in what you don't know. If you haven't guessed that already, how many times have I told you that already? But I feel your future self is just really encouraging you to continue doing this, because it's more about allowing you to not stress and stew over all of this mystery and uncertainty. I have a feeling that your intuition is dead on, and you need to honor that feeling as real as it is to you, okay? It may not at times marry up with what you're seeing, but I think that you're dead on here. And I think that eventually you're going to see it align in terms of reality with your intuition. It's going to go bang, and you're going to go, I knew it. I'm so glad I sat in this knowing and I didn't act prematurely or give up too soon. I'm so glad I waited for the right time. With the Page of Wands reverse, there's a delay in being able to take something on. It's almost like you're trying to take a journey, you're trying to develop, you're trying to invest energy somewhere, but you can't yet. So you just got to hold that energy within. Even though you've outgrown your current situation, you still don't have the green light to move ahead. So you've just got to wait in this darkness and appreciate that when it's ready, you can act. But your future self is saying, not yet, please. And please don't try to get information from unreliable sources in the meantime. The Seven of Swords reverse is just saying be very careful about what you listen to. And also, if you want information, ask from the right people, right? I just think that there could be miscommunication involved here with the Seven of Swords coming out. The future self for you wants you to know that your future will change depending on how you act in these big circumstances. I can see that there is still a lot of, like, it is yet to be written here in terms of it can go either way with you. You have a lot of control over your reality right now, whether you know that or not. Even though a lot of things seem to be happening to you and you're just here reacting, those small reactions are leading to big outcomes. So never underestimate that little, quick reaction to that small thing. It could be as simple as maybe your alarm went off too early, and instead of sleeping in, you chose to wake up. And even though it was 5 minutes earlier, that puts you 5 minutes ahead to be able to watch the sunrise. And as you were watching the sunrise, you happened to notice something else in the sky, and it made you think of that holiday that you never booked. And so you found yourself scrolling on Flight Center. And as you were scrolling through Flight Center, you found flights to XYZ, and it just keeps on catapulting from there. It's almost like, don't underestimate those small little moments of you reacting to things that are happening to you, because it is still happening for you, and you are making big moves towards your future. However small your actions seem, you are still powerful. Your future self just really wants you to appreciate this moment of what feels like a lot of inaction or inability to really get what you want as an opportunity to slowly get what you want, if that makes sense. Your future self is wanting you to know that your situation does involve trust and patience, and in many cases it involves you just waiting for the right time to make these big moves. Let's look at some channeled messages from your future self now. Group 3, please, Spirit. Oh my days, that took me ages to get that together. Group 3, what does their future self want to say to them? If I follow you, I could lose everything. The 5 of Swords reversed. A social misfortune improving. Communication could be coming in from someone, but they're saying, Five of Swords reversed. Someone's coming back to say something. It's like they walked away from you. They left you hanging. They didn't tell you. They walked away. What is going on here? What do you want them to know about this? It will improve. There is light at the end of the tunnel, but there's no point in us overthinking it with the Nine of Swords reversed. Why? What's going on here? It will improve. I just want you all the time. It's almost like they're saying you don't have all the information yet. Please wait. Don't take any action yet. Allow more information to come in, because it's going to be obvious when you need to do something. If you're still umming and ahhing and going, maybe not, yeah, nah, then don't do anything yet. It's going to be very obvious when you need to do something. It's going to be like right in front of you and you're going to go, yes, now. The other thing about this is that, yeah, you're very much in a trust and patience energy at the moment. Trust with the moon, patience with temperance. I think that there is still other things that your energy could go towards. I mean, I'm always going to say that, but I need you to remember that you are the creator. You're very fruitful. You're kind of in a gestation period at the moment. Consider yourself to be almost pregnant with opportunity. So just keep growing that little opportunity, baby. You know what I mean? Like, allow it to continue to blossom until it can be birthed into this world, until it has ground to be born into, whatever child that is. Apparently you're giving birth to a vegetable. Group 3, putting it straight in the ground. We have be more selfish in the reverse. They're saying be less selfish with your time. There are people that want to see you. There are people that want to connect with you. There are people that want to know what you're doing. Stay connected. Group 3, what does their future self want them to know? Someone from your past. Why does this keep coming up? Who is their past person here, Spirit? Yeah, you're the creator. We want you to choose. If you don't know yet, don't act. It's going to be obvious. You're supposed to be in a grey area. We have the Seven of Swords. I worry about us a lot. Yeah, things are going to clear up very quick for you. You're going to know exactly what to do. All these little reactions are building to something bigger, sweets. So these little things, remember, you feeling like you haven't made any big power moves in this area of your life for a while. It's going to add up. Don't doubt those little reactions. Why is the Six of Cups reversed? What is this past person's situation, Spirit? There's clarity coming around this. Clarity, the confusion is clearing. What else can you tell them about this? Yeah, for some of you, this is someone who just hasn't been able to come into your life properly. I see an opportunity here at birth. Some of you may be pregnant, okay? Take that if it resonates. But I see a connection to your past here being born into your present. And it's really clarifying things up. There are some strong feelings here, but they're clear feelings. We know what we want. We know how we feel. And there's suddenly this opportunity to just sit in this energy and to really think about how we want to move forward. This isn't a rushing energy. It's probably where you're at right now, to be honest with you. Just kind of grounding yourself in this moment and appreciating the opportunities that you do have. You don't need to rush to do something. It's going to be very obvious when you should act. But there does seem to be just this need to kind of stew in this sort of gestational energy and allow it to form something that when you know it's time, you'll know. It should be slapping you in the face and going, it's time, wake up, let's do this. I have a feeling that you shouldn't rush whatever this is, because it is going to require you to just really plan for something and think and potentially recover. Because if you are actually giving birth, you're just going to need some time to recover as well. But at the bottom line of it all, your future self is just wanting you to know that your intuition is dead on. You are right. You are the crone. You are wise. Your experiences are teaching you, let alone your intuition are teaching you. So don't doubt how capable you are of predicting what is going to happen as well, because you do seem to be right in this situation. Group 3, please, Spirit. Can I please get closing affirmations or advice from their future self? Group 3. We have the Star. I had a feeling this would come out for you because you seem to be a little bit like this at the moment, like this kind of needing to have trust and faith, taking little actions towards your future, also kind of healing something, really just inspirational and having this sort of high vibrational energy, but also like people want more of you, more of your time. A lot of people seem to look up to you. We have blessings, inspiration, and time to shine. I'm hearing embrace your shine. I think a lot of people want to catch up with you, sweets. Like family seems to be coming into this, but we just, yeah, people want more of your time. You are someone who is very inspirational, and I do see blessings coming your way. If it is out of your control, and if it feels like it's not yet something that you can do, then don't rush into it. Allow the dust to settle, allow the mystique to draw like the fog over the sea. Once you have a clear view of the horizon, it'll be time to go. But in the meantime, there's a strong emphasis on focusing on your present and what is in front of you with the Star. There are people that want your time, there are people that want your energy in a good way, in a helpful way, and there's also just this feeling of just staying present in what you can focus on with temperance, balance, trust, faith. Group 3, that's what I'm seeing for you from your future self. I think that's all I have. I hope this was a helpful reading for you. It was an honor to read for you today. Thank you so much for joining me. If you are interested in the hashtag protected by my angels merch / my angels made me do it merch, then please check my website in my link tree in the description box below. It was a whole process getting this merch ready, even though it's a limited little collection. It was so much fun getting it, and I'm already having so much fun filling the orders as well. I already told the other 2 groups, so if you came from them, you're probably a little sick of hearing this, but I've been writing like little personal notes in each of the orders, so that's probably been my favorite part so far. Thank you for your energy, Group 3. I'm also going to thank our spiritual teams before you go for helping me channel these messages and for keeping me safe while doing so. I hope to connect with you very, very soon. Bye!